welcome to Crepe Myrtle Row. My name is Lisa. If you've missed it before, this is part 2 of a large haul that I have found from thrifting and antiquing. And the first video I showed mostly the things that I had picked up at an antique store. This one, I think everything I have here is from a thrift store. But if you missed that one, I will have a link at the end of this video to go back and watch part 1 of that one. And so let's just jump right into this because the last one was pretty long. This one's probably gonna be a little long too. So first thing I have to show you is this basket, and I paid $1 for it. I love these types of baskets with the, someone told me they're called buttocks baskets because it looks kind of like a little butt cheeks. But I don't know, it has a little stain there. I think I might actually paint this one. I have a few of them and I hang them on a hall tree in my living room. But I might actually paint this one since it has that stain on it. But these come in handy. They're very pretty for decor and I love just having them around to put stuff in. So there is that. And then there's this little basket I think I paid 50 cents for. And I just loved the vintage look of it. And it's even got like the faded green there. I'll use it for something. And y'all know my love of vintage purses. So I found this one and I believe, so does it have a price? It was $3.99. It's the white wicker with the cool embroidered with the flowers. Oh, I just thought that was so cool. And it just opens up like that. Love my purses. And I try to every Sunday going to church to switch out and change and carry a different purse. Or if I'm going out to dinner, you know, somewhere I know I'm not going to be carrying it for very long, I'll switch them out and carry them then. The vintage purses I don't want to use as an everyday purse because, you know, they're older and more delicate, so they would fall apart. So that's why I like to carry them when I know I'm going to just be needing them for short periods of time. All right, so the next thing is these. I got this bag of quilting squares. And I did get these in an antique store. I told y'all wrong. This is, I think, the only thing left that came from an antique store. And I paid a little more. I think I paid $12 for these. But I just loved the colors in these things. Look at all that cute vintage material. And there's several of them that are the purple color here. I guess I should sit back where you can, let me do this, where you can see them more. But just all kinds of the vintage materials and feed sacks and stuff like that. And just love those. And then there's again, one of those colors. What I'm gonna do with these is take some canvases, and I think the 12 by 12 would probably work, and maybe the 14 by 14. I haven't actually measured these. And then stretch these onto those canvases, just like pull them around, staple them to the back, and then I can hang them. I did this with some quilt squares that my mom had made. She took quilting classes years ago and started to make a quilt. She had all these different blocks that she had done. I think she had 9 of them finished. And then she had some health issues that prevented her from finishing up the classes and finishing her quilt. Well, there wasn't quite enough pieces to make the quilt. I mean, you could have made a very small lap quilt with them, but I didn't want them to go to waste. I mean, she spent all that time making them and they were so pretty. So for Christmas, she had gave me those quilt squares, by the way, a while back. So I took and did that with the canvases. I wrapped them around the canvases, put hangers on them so that she could then actually hang them up, because she's like me, she likes the vintage look. And I thought she could hang them up somewhere in her house, either in a grid pattern like a quilt, or she could just mix them up and put them in different spots. But she absolutely loved that. And she had actually forgotten about some of the ones that she had made, and they were all pretty cool. So that's what I'm going to do with those quilt squares, is make them like that to either hang up in my laundry room, like around the top, kind of like a border, or in one of my bedrooms. So that's what I'm going to do with those. Next, I love my doilies. This one was $1. I love these things. I love putting them everywhere and can't seem to leave them behind. They have to come home with me if they're a reasonable price. And then, of course, you see, I like strawberries, and this was $3.50 for this ceramic basket of strawberries. Now, you can see I don't really have much room left, so something's got to go. I will look around the room, figure out what I would rather have this in the place of, and I will put it out there. I didn't put a lot of my strawberry collection back out. I tried to narrow down to the more of the pieces I really like the best, and I may just have to add that with it somewhere, but I'm trying to not be quite as cluttery and a hoarder as I normally am, and y'all know I am. So here is this little planter, and I think it was $1 or $1.50, and it's got the little kissing figurines, which I love my kissing figurines, and I love the little Valentine's planters. I know this one's probably not the vintage like I would normally like to have of the planters, but it's still pretty, and it will look really cute at Valentine's Day, because I do normally decorate just this hutch for Valentine's Day. I didn't get to this year because I was in the process of having new flooring, new ceilings, painting walls, complete home renovation, so didn't get to do any of that. Next I have this tin. I paid $1 for it. I thought it would be really pretty at Valentine's Day, almond kisses, and then the pink color to help decorate with. And then these two little guys, I found these at a yard sale. One of my neighbors was having a yard sale, and they had these in there. I thought those were adorable. And if you can see back there, it's like one of those Coke crates. That one's actually a Pepsi crate, and I have a Coke one right over here. So I love putting little small miniature pieces in those, and I like changing them out. If I find some things I like better, I'll switch them out. So I got a few things here to add into those. These little vintage bugs. This one is supposed to be like a bee, and I actually have a set of these that are the yellow and black, but I loved these little colors. And this one is supposed to be a ladybug, and they're just little plastic little figurines. Thought they were adorable. And then more little miniature things were these little glass jars. Like that one's supposed to be the claw and ball. I mean, it's hard to tell with the thing, the ring light there, but those will be cute put in there. Little Santa mug. I know he's not the vintage ones, but I think he was 49¢, and he fits perfect in those little holders. I have several little small ones, so at Christmas I will kind of switch out some of the pieces to be Christmas themed pieces. And then this little swan. Again, this is kind of hard to see with this light, but I thought that it's actually a little, I think it was an Avon bottle because that crown twists off. But I love swans, ducks, all that kind of stuff. So that will look pretty there. And speaking of the swans and ducks, I got on a swan kick lately. A lot of them. So this one was $1. It's a little planter. These are so pretty to put like some of you faux succulents in, or little ferns in. Love that one. I use these mostly in my living room. And then after I bought that one, these I think are more like a porcelain finish. And I'm trying to see what it says. It's made in Belgium or something like that. I can't quite tell. It has a stamp on it. But these were $3 a piece. And I just loved those. Put some little faux florals or greenery in them and use them in my living room. And then I collect fish bottles. You might can see a couple of them right there. I put out on my back porch, which by the way, it's a mess right now. It's covered in pollen. I have a big oak tree that overhangs it, and all the little, those little wiggly things that fall off of them, they finally have all fell off. So now I can go clean my porch. That's on my to-do list for this week. Because until those fall off, I don't touch it, because so much pollen comes off of them that you could wipe it down, clean it, and 2 hours later, it would be completely covered again. But I put a lot of fish bottles out there, any kind of glass fish shaped thing out there, and some vintage insulators, which I have some of those too. But here is my newest addition. It's an Avon bottle. It was $6. That will go with my fish bottle collection. I'm gonna have to glue this on though, because it wants to pop off, and I'm afraid if it falls, the little sword tip will get broke. So that's going to get glued on. And you can also see, like right there, is some of these vintage glass insulators. I just love the colors of these, and these were $1.99 a piece. I'll tell you something else you can do with these. If you can look up and find some of the old little metal candle holders, they're like little stands and they held little glass candle holders. These a lot of times will fit in them, and you can put them in upside down, and little tea lights fit in there. And so then you can use these like candle holders. But I just love them sitting around. These, I don't know if they're going to go out there, or they may go in my living room when I change over this summer to beach and nautical decor because of the colors. Next, I have this little vintage cow. I loved it. It was 99¢. Love the blue and white. I do have a lot of blue and white dishes. They're hanging on the wall currently, but sometimes I put them in the hutch here. But I just thought that was so cute, like a little planter. And it had matching for 99¢ a piece, little matching salt and pepper shakers. Thought those were adorable. And then I have, this is made in Japan, and it's a porcelain geisha, I don't know how you pronounce the lady, but I just loved how delicate the details are, and none of it is broke, which is a miracle, because usually these things, like the little tips of their fingers, get broke off and all. But like I said, I have a lot of blue and white decor, and sometimes I put all of that in here, and I have a lot of like the little Japanese ladies and the men, and just Asian inspired stuff that I put with it, and that is really pretty. Making noise over here. And then these next two things were just some little pieces that I bought. I have a little fairy garden out back, and I bought these to go in there. They were $1.50 a piece. So the little turtle and the little lizard I thought would look really cute in my fairy garden. And then this tray, it's like a hand painted. It was $1.99. I can't read all what it says, but it's hand painted. And I like little trinket trays like this to sit on a dresser. You can drop your rings in it, your watches, maybe even some change in it. But I just think they're pretty, and I love it being hand painted like that. Next is this. I paid $2 for, and it looks like a glass bowl, but it's plastic. I just loved this bright yellow color, and then that hand painted in there. Not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I just loved how vintage it looked with that color. And I mean, for $2. And then next I paid $4 for this piece, and it is a vintage enamelware strainer. I don't know what this was used for, but it looks like a strainer to me. I like it. And what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is use it as a planter for some succulent type plants like the hen and chicks. I have some of those, and I have them in another round strainer, and they do really well. So I thought it would be pretty to plant some up in this and sit outside. So love that. And And then this piece, it's not vintage, but I thought it was cool. It was $1.50, and it's a tomato slicer. So you have all of those little blades there. And see, it even has the tomatoes on it, so you could just hold the tomato and slice them all at one time. Don't know how well it works, but we shall see. And this was $3.99, and it's just a long basket thing. These are always, you know, this would be perfect for organizing up under my sinks and stuff, some of my cleaning supplies. So that's why I got that. And then this next piece, it looked like jadeite to me. It was $5, and it's a egg plate. It's plastic, but it's the same color as jadeite, because I actually held up some of my vintage jadeite and it matched it. I imagine that it probably had a lid that fit over the whole thing at one time. It was not there. And then these little things pop out. So I don't know I don't know why they popped out. If there was, because they're not really space underneath them, because at first I thought, well, maybe you put ice or something underneath to keep the eggs cold, but there's not really enough space to do that with. So I don't know why they pop out, but I thought that was really cool. The fact that it's jadeite, I love jadeite, and I can use it to do deviled eggs with, and for $5. Next is this tray, and it was $3.99, heavy metal tray. I bought one at the same thrift store a few weeks earlier in a dark green that goes in my living room perfectly, and I have it in there now. And then I thought come fall, I could switch the dark green one out for this one, or just use this one in addition to that one. And love that. I love these old, what do you call it? Toll paintings? Y'all, I can't pronounce a lot of things. Don't know how they're supposed to be pronounced. But the paintings there, I love those. So, and for $3.99. All right. I also love vintage tins. And I got this one, and how much was it? It was $4.50, and then they had it half price. Just an old cookie tin. Well, I don't know how old it is, because I mean, it does have a barcode, so it can't be that old, but it looks old. Just love that. Even the little tag they had on it in this particular thrift store was cute. But I just thought the colors on that looked really cute. And I put stuff like that above my cabinets in my kitchen. All right, let's see here. Next, we have this pillow. I don't think I showed this in a thrift haul. I was trying to remember if I did. If I did, I'm sorry. I'm showing you again. But this is a new Pioneer Woman pillow. It eventually had been put down. It had been $16.97. Walmart put it on clearance for $4.50. I got it for $2 at a Goodwill. But I just loved that color, the little tassels and stuff. That is going to be so cute come fall. Or, you know, during the summertime, I could just use it like that. My daughter uses these colors in her guest bedroom along with this color here, and it looks so pretty. But I just thought that was adorable. And you know, pillows can be so expensive. And then next we have this glass jug. I think I paid $8 for it, and it had the florals in it. But I'm going above my fireplace on the very top of the mantelpiece. I'm going to put a lot of different jars and jugs and stuff. So that is what that is for. And then I have this this wood candle holder for 99¢. I'm probably going to paint that and distress it a little bit. I love candle holders. Don't know why I buy so many of those, but I do. I love them. And this was another thing I got at a yard sale at one of my neighbors. I think you call them tulipier, something like that. But you're supposed to put like little flowers or tulips in them, and I just thought it was cute. And I think it probably averaged out that I paid $1, maybe $2 for it, because he just gave me a price for everything that I had gathered up. And then this was in that too, and it's the vintage little girl planter that I got from there. And I just love the colors of those. And then next, and I paid $5 for this, is this metal bird with the little nest things. And I think I'm actually going to take some moss and fix it up and put some little eggs in it or something to sit around. But I love that kind of color scheme on the metal. And I love baskets, and I thought this one was kind of unique in its shape, and it was $1.99. And I use them to store things in. I mean, they're just not for looks. If I need to put some of this stuff up until I find where I want to put it, I use the baskets like this to store them in. But this one was a good sturdy one and just an unusual shape, so I liked it. And then I got this set of books for $4.50, and I absolutely loved those colors. All of those vintage kind of colors like that together are so pretty, and I think that's a pretty good deal on them. And they're from 1966, because I think I looked these up on eBay or something like that, and they were anywhere from $30 to $40 for the set. But love that. And then speaking of books, I mainly bought this book because of the blue-green color, because I like using these for, so it's got that kind of color in my living room as risers and stuff like that. But there's a road not far from me called Peachtree Road that I have to travel on quite a bit, so I thought that was cool. And then once I got it looking at it, it's actually a book about Scarlett and Rhett Butler's grandchildren. So it's whoever wrote this, Ann Rivers Simmons, based it off of the Gone with the Wind books and put her spin on like their grandchildren. So that is what that is about, and I'm actually going to read that because I love Gone with the Wind. Is one of my favorite movies. Okay, next, let's see, I only have one other thing, and it's kind of big. Well, it's actually two things, but they're going to be used together. I love old frames, and then this I got for $13.99. Now that is actually someone's, I guess Navy is what that uniform is. Handsome fellow there. Have no idea who he is. Not wanting to use the picture in it. I just wanted this frame. And it's kind of, it's like heavy wood. It's got the old metal. I'm gonna have to redo that. But what I'm gonna put in that frame is this picture that I paid $4.75, and it's like a watercolor. See if I can get that thing off of it. And all of this will fit inside that frame, and I just love that. My living room is just a little bit lighter than that now, so those colors will be so perfect in there. Well, that is all. Let me check around, make sure I got it all. I believe I do. That is all that I have for this haul, part 2. But I really appreciate y'all watching this. I love all your comments that you leave me. Please let me know what you liked about this one. Please go follow or watch the other one. And like I said, I will put a link after this video to the part 1, so you can go back and see it if you haven't. I would love for you to join my YouTube family and subscribe to the channel here, and come on over to Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest and follow me there. You will see I post more often on Instagram, especially in my stories. I will show little, like some of the stuff I showed in a stories when I picked it up and stuff. So you might get little sneak peeks of things before I actually get around to making the YouTube videos. But I hope y'all have had a very blessed day, and until next time, bye.